Hi everyone, welcome to my Autodesk screencast. My name is Zan Ta and I work for Reaper Products in Smyrna, Georgia. I'm an Autodesk certified instructor and hold many certifications in multiple Autodesk products for the AEC industry. I hope you enjoy my screencast. If you'd like to see more of my screencasts, please search for VAR 2015, that's VAR 2015, or my name. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up after you watch it. In today's screencast, we'll be taking a look at Revit visual styles and how to make adjustments and understand what they are. Here I am in Revit 2016 in a 3D view, and if I look at this one carefully, it looks like it's hand-drawn, very sketchy. And that's actually a visual style that you can adjust and work with within Revit. Down here in the View Control toolbar, we have the icon for visual styles. You have wireframe. If you click it, you have the ability to see through everything as though it's all wired. You can click hidden line, which is the default. You can click shaded, which gives it color and contrast. And the coloring and everything that you see is actually based off of under materials. Any materials that you're working with within Revit that is assigned to the physical 3D modeling objects of the model, there is within the material dialog box a tab that it's looking at, which is the graphics tab. And so, for example, if we look at countertop, we can see the graphics tab says use this color for shading within the model. So it looks, this particular color. And then any surface pattern or cut pattern you can also specify. When we look at visual styles and we switch this to consistent color, you'll notice that the coloring is now consistent across both faces, even though they're in different directions. And it just kind of helps make things look a little flat and easier to see if you're having issues with your graphics card or you can't see very well like me with glasses. So you also have the ability to click to realistic. Realistic, what that does is it takes the bitmap image or materials that have been assigned to that particular material container and physically apply it to the actual model and therefore give you a realistic view of what the model will look like if you render it, as you can see here. Okay. If you click Ray Trace, this is actually rendering with Ray Trace Engine on the fly as you're designing. This, as you also notice too, the lower that you go, the more intensive the display is for the visual style. And consequently, when you use these features and the lower you go, the more intensive it is on your machine and the more taxing it is on your software. And so you may or may not hear it, but my fan on my laptop just kicked in and it's actually rendering on the fly as I'm designing and working. I don't normally have this set because there's no need for me to do that. It makes sense just to stay either in hidden line or shaded or realistic or consistent colors. Also, though, you can actually click graphic display options. And in here, it'll bring up this window that allows you to control and modify different features. So for example, we can go over here and we can click silhouette and have silhouette turned on and have it to be like, for example, wide lines. And what that means is that there's a thick outer line that's being displayed and it's easier to see if I actually have the sketchy lines not turned on. And if you zoom back out and you turn your thin lines command back on, you can see the thick silhouette line being displayed. If I go back to the graphic display and let's go ahead and turn sketchy lines back on, you can see that we can enable that sketchy line. There's a jitteriness, meaning how jagged the lines are, and the extension, meaning how far do they extend beyond each other. So if I go ahead and turn that on and hit apply, you can see that there is a little bit of jagginess in the line work. As you can see here, it's not a straight line. And you can see the extension is going out just a little bit. If I use my thin line command and turn that on, toggle it off for a second, you can see a little easier the sketchy line that goes across. Now, if I head back over to graphic display options and increase the, say, the extension and hit apply, you'll see how it extends even further. And same thing with jitteriness. If I apply it, the more sketchy it'll look. And so there, in the end, you're making it look a lot more messy, if you will, and hand-drawn like, if you will. So that's sketchy. You also have things like shadow. You can turn them on and cast ambient shadows. So if I uncheck show ambient shadows and I hit OK, you're going to see that there's a lot less deeper shadowing underneath, for example, here. And if I go back to graphics display and I turn the shadow ambient on and hit apply, you'll notice it gets darker down here. Okay. Um, and then we talked about lighting in another screencast in regards to rendering. Same thing with photometric exposure. And then lastly, background. You can actually put a background if you want to. For example, say a sky, and with a gray color background, or any other color you want. You could do gradient, different color gradient, and it'll go from very light to dark, or whatever colors you pick. You can also specify an image. So you can click Customize Image and pick an image that you have. And if you don't have an image, you can always go to, say, Google Images and put in, say, the sunset, like that. And let's say we pick a sunset like, how about something basic, no water. Let's just do that one. So we'll look at this image and we'll save this picture out, put it under pictures, and we're going to save it as a bitmap for now, or JPEG, and we're going to call it sunset. Now that we've done this, head back over to here, go back to your computer, go to pictures, look for sunset, hit open, and that image then gets transferred in here. Now you can say original size and it'll look like this. You can stretch it to maximize the view. You could do it based upon width or upon height. So I'm going to do it, say, maybe based upon width for now. You can obviously move it left or right, width or height for the offsets as well. If I hit OK and hit apply, it will take that image and apply it in the background, like so. And that's it. That's how you work with the different visual styles in Revit 2016. Thank you very much for watching my screencast, and please don't forget to give me a thumbs up.